back pressure is bad. There's a myth out there that you need back pressure on your Harley to get maximum power.
And it's just not true.
When we went to do this back pressure video, what did you tell me when I told you I wanted to do that?
I told you, no matter how true what you're about to say is, there's a large group of people that's not going to believe it. Just because, you know, they've already made up their mind, they've been heard it for so long, you got to have back pressure. Like, the only source people are getting this information from is hearsay in a YouTube comment, a Facebook comment, you know, just their brother's uncle's cousin telling them that I put these Screaming Eagle pipes on here and now I got a lot of back pressure.
When you have a baffle in the exhaust, not an open baffle, a factory baffle with a plug where you cannot see from one end to the other, okay? That's creating an immense amount of back pressure, which is robbing you of power, okay? You take that out, now it's open. You can see from one end to the other. Now you don't have any back pressure to speak of, and yes, you drop power. But there's another factor, and that's what's called reversion. And reversion is when the energy pulse, the exhaust pulse, exits the end of the pipe, it turns around and goes back up the pipe all the way back to your exhaust valve, unless you have a baffle in there to stop it.
In addition to reducing noise, baffles also reduce harmonic reversion in the exhaust system. Reversion is what causes that dead spot in the mid RPM range. So what is harmonic reversion, you may ask? It can be pretty hard to explain, and since you can't see what's going on in your exhaust pipe, it's really hard to demonstrate. So I'm going to revert to my childhood and use this slinky toy to illustrate. By the way, you may have used one of these to study waves in your high school physics class. Keep in mind that this is greatly simplified, but it's a good way to visualize what's going on in the exhaust system. Let's say this slinky is your drag pipe. We've suspended it with a camera shooting down into it. We're also shooting with another camera turned on its side. If I tweak one end of the slinky, a wave travels to the other end and then reflects right back. It keeps doing that at the resonant frequency of the spring until the energy of the wave is dissipated. Well, when your exhaust valves open and a pulse of pressure comes out, the column of air in the pipe acts much the same way as the slinky. That pulse travels down the pipe, and when it reaches the end, the change in impedance from the inside of the pipe to the outside air is enough to reflect some of the pulse right back up the pipe.
Why is reversion bad? Well, when that exhaust pulse comes back up the pipe, it's slowing down the exhaust gas velocity and it's preventing a charge, just like back pressure prevents a full fresh charge in the cylinder.
Now, the whole purpose of an exhaust is to evacuate those spent gases as quickly and as efficiently as possible. So you can see that as you increase back pressure, it does the opposite of what you want your exhaust to do, which is to evacuate and get rid of those exhaust fumes as quickly and as efficiently as possible. So back pressure is bad, it's not a good thing. So why do people say, well, you need some back pressure? Well, it's kind of misleading, and it has to do with exhaust velocity.
The exhaust gas velocity is important. If they don't have that basic understanding, that exhaust gas velocity is important to making power, then everything after that is irrelevant. So we have to establish that. Exhaust gas velocity is important, okay? Now, you put a baffle in a pipe, it's going to slow down exhaust gas velocity. A baffle is a restriction. It's going to slow down the exhaust gas velocity.
Right.
The exhaust is not going to be able to exit as fast, so the charge is not going to be able to come in. A baffle is bad. A baffle restricts the flow of the gas, which means it's going to slow it down. If you have a hose that water's flowing through, and you put a round disc in there that has a bunch of holes in it,
yeah,
it's going to slow down the flow of the water. You put anything in the pipe, it's going to slow down the flow of the exhaust gases. The baffle is reducing power because of the back pressure, but it is increasing power by reversion reduction. In most cases, the power gained by reduction or reversion is more than the power lost to back pressure. So there is a net gain of more power, but it is in spite of back pressure, not because of it. The back pressure is not giving you more power. The absence of reversion is giving you more power. The absence of reversion creates more power than the back pressure robs. What you need is an absence of reversion. One way to get an absence of reversion is to have a baffle that creates back pressure. There's a much better way to get an absence of reversion without having to lose power because of the back pressure. And that's with the Thunder Torque inserts. If you like the video, even if you don't agree with us, give us a thumbs up. Definitely leave your comments below, especially if you still think that back pressure is good. I don't know how you could, but everybody's entitled to their opinion, and we'd like to hear yours if you think back pressure is good somehow for some reason.
And hit that notification bell so you'll be updated when our next video comes out.
And if you can subscribe to our channel, we'd appreciate it. It helps us out and it's free. And don't forget to leave your comments. Leave comments whether you agree with this, don't agree with this. Leave comments if you use the Thunder Torque inserts and experienced a benefit or not experienced a benefit.
Y'all ride safe out there.